Heartbreak changes you, not in a way people can see, but in a way you can never unfeel. And this is the lesson that will either destroy you slowly or set you completely free. You don't notice it at first. At first, it just feels like missing someone, like silence that should not exist, like a space in your life that still belongs to them, even though they are no longer there. You wake up and reach for your phone, not because you expect a message, but because your body remembers a routine your mind is still trying to forget. And somewhere in that confusion, something inside you begins to shift. You stop laughing the same way. You stop trusting the same way. You stop believing the same way. But what you don't realize is this: heartbreak is not just emotional pain, it is identity reconstruction. Because the person you were before them and the person you become after them are not the same person. And that gap between who you were and who you are becoming is where your suffering lives. But it is also where your freedom is hiding. And that is what no one tells you. Because heartbreak is not meant to keep you stuck in the past. It is meant to push you towards something you were too afraid to see: yourself. And once you understand this, you will never look at pain the same way again. You are not missing them. You are missing who you were with them. Let's go deeper than the surface of heartbreak, because what you call missing someone is often something else entirely. You are not just grieving a person. You are grieving a version of yourself that only existed in that connection. Think about it. There was a time when you felt lighter, when conversations felt effortless, when hope felt natural. That version of you existed inside a shared illusion of stability, and when the relationship ended, that version disappeared too. This is why healing feels like losing yourself, because in truth, you are, but not in the way you think. You are not losing your identity. You are shedding a temporary one. Carl Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." And heartbreak forces that acceptance, because suddenly you are alone with yourself again. No distractions, no emotional scaffolding, no borrowed identity from another person, just you and your thoughts. And at first, that feels unbearable, but slowly, something shifts. You begin to see patterns, your emotional habits, your attachment tendencies, your fears you never confronted before. Lesson: heartbreak removes the illusion so you can finally meet yourself. What hurt you wasn't just loss. It was the collapse of a story you believed was real. Heartbreak doesn't just end a relationship. It ends a story you were emotionally invested in, a story where things would eventually get better, a story where patience would turn into loyalty, and loyalty would turn into forever. But life doesn't always honor the stories we write in our minds. It interrupts them. And when reality finally breaks through, it doesn't feel like truth at first. It feels like betrayal. Because you weren't just attached to a person. You were attached to a narrative. Every inconsistency had an explanation. Every distance had an excuse. Every red flag had a hopeful interpretation. You didn't see reality clearly, because hope was doing the seeing for you. And hope, when unbalanced, becomes blindness. Buddha taught that suffering comes from attachment. Not because love is wrong, but because clinging to illusions turns love into pain. And that is exactly what happens here. You weren't loving reality. You were loving potential. And potential is dangerous, because it doesn't exist yet. So when the truth finally arrives, it doesn't just break your heart. It breaks your interpretation of love itself. And that's why it feels like everything collapsed at once, because it did, not the relationship, the illusion. Lesson: what hurts is not losing them, it's realizing what you believed was never fully real. The heartbreak didn't just break you, it changed the way you think forever. After the collapse of illusion, something subtle begins inside you. At first, you call it overthinking. You analyze everything. You replay conversations. You search for hidden meanings in simple moments. But what you don't realize is, your mind is adapting. It is trying to protect you from repeating the same emotional injury again. This is not weakness. This is evolution through pain. Because heartbreak doesn't just affect emotions, it restructures perception. You start noticing tone shifts you once ignored. You start sensing emotional distance before it becomes obvious. You start reading between lines you once took at face value. And while it feels heavy, it is actually awareness forming. Pain becomes a teacher, not because it is kind, but because it is precise. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "What is done out of love always takes place beyond good and evil." But what he also implied is this: deep experiences change the structure of who we are. You are no longer the same version who trusted blindly. Now you observe. Now you question. Now you hesitate before you attach. And yes, that feels like loss. But it is actually refinement, because awareness always comes at the cost of innocence. Lesson: pain doesn't just hurt you, it upgrades your perception of reality. You don't heal when they come back. You heal when you no longer need them to. There comes a quiet moment in every healing journey. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't feel dramatic. It just happens. You think about them one day, and the emotional weight is lighter than before. The memory is still there, but it no longer pulls you under. The silence no longer feels like punishment. It feels like space. And in that space, something powerful is born. Clarity. You begin to understand that freedom was never about getting answers from them. It was about no longer needing answers at all, because closure is not something someone gives you. It is something you build inside yourself when understanding replaces confusion. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And this is where that truth becomes real. You stop chasing explanations. You stop rewriting the past. You stop waiting for emotional resolution from someone who cannot give it. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started understanding. And understanding is freedom. You realize the most painful truth of all. They were not your source of peace. They were part of your journey towards self-awareness. And now that awareness is yours forever, one day you will look back and not feel anger, not feel sadness, not even nostalgia, just recognition. That was the version of me who was learning. And that realization changes everything because you finally see it. Heartbreak didn't destroy you. It removed what you were never meant to keep, and in doing so, it revealed what you were always meant to become. Final lesson: you are not healing to go back. You are healing to move beyond. So if you are still in the middle of heartbreak, don't rush to escape it. Sit with it, understand it, let it transform you. Because one day you will realize something quietly powerful. The pain didn't break you. It freed you from who you were not meant to remain.